be telling you about the basic uses of basic brushes. If you are a beginner, you don't need all of these brushes, but I will definitely let you know of which are the must-have brushes to have in your collection. Let me introduce you to the flat Kabuki brush. It's got essentially a very flat, it's also pretty dense. So when you are in the market and you see a flat brush, kind of like, play with the bristles, make sure that it's kind of dense but not so dense. It's somewhere in the middle. Just a rule in general, don't get a brush with plastic bristles because those are gonna be a waste of your time and waste of your money and efforts. All you have to do is get a little bit of your foundation right on top of the brush. You don't even have to put it on the back of your head. You can do it if you want, but I usually just put it on the top of the brush and then just jab it all over your face and just keep jabbing it, and then small circular motions, you can just blend it right into your face. So this works amazingly for liquid foundations and it makes your work so easy. Now this brush, it's slightly dirty because I just used it on my face right now, is a blush brush. This brush is gonna have a little bit more give to the whole bristles. The bristles are gonna be longer, so it is more pliable, as you can see, and the top of it is gonna be slightly dome shaped. It's not gonna be flat. Now this is amazing for blush. You can dip your brush right into the blush and kind of just pat on your blush wherever you want to, and then you can slowly work it into your skin by small circular rotations of the brush on your face. It's also amazing for powder. You can just dip it into the powder and get it all over your face just like that. Okay, like that. It's also good for contour because it's kind of flat, as you can see. You can get the contour product right to the edges of your brush and just work it right into your contour areas of your face. Now these are angled brushes and these are usually used for blushes, but of course you can use it for your powder or whatever. The purpose of the angle is to kind of fit on your face like that. This cute little brush, with respect to the size of my hand, it's a ginormous brush and it's a very, very soft brush. The length of the bristles are quite long as well, and which is why it is very pliable. Now this is a powder brush, but if you apply powder with this one, you need to know that you'll get a very sheer layer of powder all over your face because it literally covers like half the face. What I like to use a brush like this is to just finish up the whole thing, because you have your powder, your contour, your highlight, your blush, all of that stuff, and if you go with a huge brush like this, once you're all done, it kind of makes sure that everything is blended and there are no harsh lines on your face. But don't use it for your blush because that's gonna give you a ginormous red spot on your face, as I can see. Now these tiny little fluffy brushes are slightly larger than your eyeshadow brush, but it is obviously smaller than your foundation brush. Oh, I don't have my flat foundation brush with me right now. You've seen those flat foundation brushes, right? You just literally paint on foundation on your face like you would paint on a canvas. Now these guys are concealer brushes, or you can even use it as your powder brush for just under your eyes, because those larger brushes will not get into all your nooks and crannies, whereas these guys will just get in right there and powder up all those little things. Now if you've been watching my videos for a long time, you would have seen me use all of this right up in there. Now let me show you an eyeshadow brush just in comparison, so you see how much bigger it is. Now this brush is a more stiff, angled, flat Kabuki brush. It's not flat, it's angled and it's kind of stiff and it's small. It's just like the flat Kabuki that I showed, but it's small. Okay, now this can be used for all of your cream products like your concealer, just to apply it right up in there. This kind of brush can be used for your concealers, mostly concealer, or your eyeshadow primer, or cream eyeshadow. Any of your cream eye area product where you need more precision, you can use this brush for. And once again, the angle is just so that it fits into your face more comfortably. And of course there are these traditional concealer brushes which are just like this. It looks like a larger lip brush. This is very good when you have to do some spot concealing, like if you have a huge blemish or a pimple, you can dip this into your concealer and go right over it for that extra precision and spot concealing, instead of dabbing a finger and going all over the area and you're like, where did that concealer go? My pimple is still red. Now this brush doesn't need any explanation. It's just straight to the point. It's a lip brush and you just literally get the lipstick on this brush and apply it on your lip. Now my favorite part, let me introduce you to the eyeshadow brushes. Now these are my favorite brushes, of course, because eyeshadow is the most fun part of a makeup. Now this is a traditional eyeshadow brush. It's slightly fluffy, as you can see. If you turn it to one side, it's gonna be flat. It's not gonna be a round brush. It's gonna be like a much smaller version of your blush brush. The bristles are gonna be slightly long and the top of it is gonna be a dome shaped. Now this is for your general eyeshadow application. If you can have just one brush, I would suggest this one, because you can literally get in there for your highlight, your brow bone, your eyeshadow, and even your crease, and you're blending all of it with just this one. And this in fact was my very first eyeshadow brush. I also have a bigger version of the same because it covers more surface area. Now we have the crease brush. Okay, this guy creates magic. The bristles to this brush is gonna be way longer than your normal eyeshadow brush. Let me show you the size of the bristles in comparison. It's much longer than your general eyeshadow brush. It's just gonna go up in there and blend the shit out of all of your eyeshadows. So this is what you use if you want to blend eyeshadows. Windshield wiper motion, circular motion. This is gonna be a round brush, so no matter how much you turn, it's always gonna be round. It's not a flat brush. Moving on, now I have an angled eyeliner brush right here. It is a flat brush, as you can see, and the tip of it is in an angled fashion. How do you finish that sentence? I have made an entire video on how to use the angled eyeliner brush. It's basically for your eyeliner and to get your eyebrows done. So I'm not gonna go into detail in this one, but I shall link that other video underneath.
In the info box. In the info bar, so you can watch that.
This one is a dense pencil brush. It's very much like the crease brush. Let me show you in comparison. It's a round brush. The difference is that the bristles are much shorter than this one. If you want to really smoke out your lash line, you can just dip it into black and just get it up in there. For precise application of colors in your outer V and stuff, you can use this brush. This actually gives you intense color as opposed to this, which gives you a sheer wash of color. And then we have the stiff flat eyeshadow brush. This I feel is really useless. You don't really need it in your kit, but if you have it, you can use it for the application of cream products on your eyelid, your cream shadows or primer. Very stiff, so it's not gonna do very well with powder products, and that's why it's ideal for cream products. I have pretty much spoken about all of the essential makeup brushes that a beginner should have. Now of course, in addition to this, you have your fan brush and a lot of other brushes out there in the market, but for a normal day-to-day life, you don't need all of that. Okay, that's essentially for just makeup artists who do makeup for living. You get it? Yep. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something out of this. If you did, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay then.